what would you tell your younger self about friends?
Mm, interesting. Came with the heat today, Star. Came with the heat today.
Real Talk with Star Scorpio, season 8. I met my guest today at the gym. And while we were doing bench press in between sets, I let him know that I had a podcast. And he let me know he was a rapper. And I was like, let's go. And I invited him to the podcast. We have him here today to learn some more and how he got into it. Dyer, welcome to Real Talk with Star Scorpio. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. Well, I go on Star Scorpio. Well, I go on Toronto.
Yes. Yo, on Real Talk, we like to build a timeline. So, I need to ask you a lot of questions like where you born and raised and stuff. But just to get out the way, you big up the city, right? We can get it out
Yeah,
the way.
yeah.
Were you born and raised in Toronto?
I was born and raised Toronto side, Scarborough side, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for people listening, there's an age difference. You could be my son, bro. You're how old are you?
I'm 23. I'm 23.
Yeah, my daughter's 25. I'm 49. But let me know what part of Scarborough you grew up in.
Closer to that North York, Roywood side, you know?
Are you serious?
Yeah. And then I moved around a lot. So after that, I moved to Pickering,
Mhm.
Ajax,
Yeah.
Oshawa, Vaughan,
Yeah, all
moved down
over.
to Israel for a bit, you know? Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get into some of that. But I gotta step back for a minute because you mentioned Roywood.
Mm,
I grew up at my parents are still there, like Vic Park and Ellesmere. And I
yeah.
went to a school called Brookbanks, but they changed the name. It's an academy now.
Mm,
But Roywood, that's where a lot of my friends came from. And I went to
jeez.
Donview Junior High. So what age were you in the Roywood area?
I was young. I was young. I was there for like maybe like till I was like 3.
And then you moved. So you didn't
Then I
go to
moved.
school
Yeah.
there.
I didn't go to school down there.
So do you know anybody in when I'm naming these streets like York Mills, Vic Park? Do you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah. Victor. So I hang around there because my cousins still live down there. Everything. So that's
Mhm.
that's my stomping ground from day to day. But yeah, they're right by Vic Park, like that exit. That's where I get off at.
Are you
York Mill,
serious?
York Mills. That's my exit. York
Yo, but
Mills.
my boy Curry lives right there, right there.
Oh
His
yeah,
mom, well, his mom there. He's in Ajax, I believe. But
yeah,
yo, my parents are there. Parkway Mall, right?
yeah. Park Me Mall right there.
Yeah, man. That was my mom. My parents are across the street, man. But York Mill, that's sorry, I trip when I hear people that grew up in the same area. I still get tripped up, man.
Yeah,
But yeah. So you have boys in that area still, you're saying?
yeah. More
And
family, like
family, yeah.
family. Yeah, yeah. So I keep my circle small. You know, I have a couple of friends here and there, but
Mhm,
family is where it's at. So go down there. You know, get like
mhm.
a bottle here and there, party up sometimes. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's all love.
I wonder if your parents are like my age then.
Close, yeah, close, close, close.
Yeah.
You would never know, yo. My dad randomly sees these people, and he's like, one of my engineers.
Mhm.
I brought my dad to the studio. My engineer, my dad knew him somehow, so you know he might know somebody that knows you.
Yo, just shout out your dad's name for a minute.
Sean Dyer.
Sean Dyer.
Yeah.
And do you know where he grew up though?
So he moved more Markham side before the community kind of moved out to Ajax, Picker, and all of that.
Yeah.
He was more around this area, around McGivney. If you know Father Michael McGivney.
I know the name. I can't
Yeah,
remember where
so
he's at.
so that's where he went to high school.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, history. Okay, and now where's your lineage from? I think I probably know, but
Yeah.
let me know where your parents originated from.
Yeah. So both of my parents are from here, but my grandparents are Jamaican on both
Yeah,
sides. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
But I'm also Jewish too.
Oh,
That's
you
something
serious?
yeah, that's something that a lot of people don't expect. So
Well, so now that makes sense. You said you were in Israel for a bit, right?
yeah, yeah,
Okay. Wow, look at that. Which side
yeah.
though? So,
So so actually when I was younger we converted.
mhm.
So both sides are Jamaican, but my immediate family we converted to that religion.
To Israel. Okay, but
Yeah.
do you have any family there right now though, or anybody that has ties to Israel besides
So
the
my
religious part?
Yeah, so my brother used to live down there. He still does. He just came back for a little trip maybe
Mhm.
like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, he lives down there, have his friends, everything for years, like good 10 years straight. So that's love
Okay.
out there. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And now school. I like to learn about the my guest background when it comes to school. So you're 23, so it feels like you're fresh. Not really, but you're fresh going
Yeah.
to be, man, out of high
Yeah.
school. How was your high school days, man, when it came to subjects, and what did you excel in?
I'm a jack of all trades. I excelled in everything. But I moved around a lot. So for me, it was more trying to find my ground, trying to figure out who I am, like get that friend group. As I said, I went to Israel, went
Mm,
to different school every year. Every year I'm restarting from scratch, right? So, but yeah, I was good in physics, chemistry,
mhm.
calculus. I took a little bit of as well, So I was a science head.
Wow, that's cool, man. But as a rapper though, I always like to see if English was always that thing too when it comes to writing. Did you like to write? And did you write poetry back in the days as well?
I loved to write, bro. I loved it. Um, so I'd say my creativity started from English. Actually, it's funny you say that. When I
Mhm.
was a kid, I used to love writing all those storybooks. I come home, make those cool storybooks for mom and dad.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's definitely where it was. And then I started doing a lot of singing too. I won't lie, I
Oh,
did a lot of singing back in high school. So yeah,
wait. So were you always because when we met at the gym, man, you approached me. I had the
yeah.
bench. You're like, yo, do a couple sets. And I'm like, yeah. Were you always that outgoing person or were you more reserved?
It's funny you say I'm outgoing because for me, it's more I'm still reserved,
Really?
But it's when I have to get into a situation or when I have to put myself out there, that's when I'm like, all right, let's go. It's game time.
Oh, you're getting that mindset then,
I get in
right?
that mindset. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And on the same vein though, um, because you moved around a lot and even in Israel, is it easy for you to assimilate to the
Yes.
different environments too?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. You know,
Mm,
th- Seeing those experiences when you're young, like I'm sure you can relate to it. When you go to the next country, you're like, okay, yo, I have to move a little bit different now. So it makes my mindset ready to adapt. Understand the cultures wherever I'm going. So yo, I love culture. I love learning new languages. Everything.
yeah. Wait, so have you been back to Jamaica then? I'm sure many times or maybe
Yeah.
once. You have, right?
Yeah, I've
Mhm.
gone a couple times. I just went. My last trip was maybe a couple like 4 months ago. I went back in what March.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I seen a
yeah,
post there, man. I think that must have been an
yeah,
up-to-date post.
yeah. You got the family out there, yo. It's enough love out there in Jamaica, so
Mhm.
it's always a good
And
time.
and having those roots too, did the reggae music, the dance hall affect or have a play on your music now too? Because rap is its own genre, but I think there's a lot of influence from rock, reggae, dance hall, you name it, right?
Yeah,
So did that have an influence on your music?
it's the rhythm. You can't beat
Mm.
Jamaican rhythm. So anywhere you go, New York, Florida, Atlanta, you always find a Jamaican person there that's making some sort of music. But
Yo, trust me, trust me.
yeah, that's a Jamaican blood in me that started this. So
Yeah.
uh,
Okay, now let's talk about that though. So when did you start writing? When did you put pen to pad and you wanted to take this serious?
I would say those are two different things because when I was younger, I was putting a lot of pen to pad. It sounded terrible,
Yeah.
but but I was always putting pen to pad. I think probably 14 years old, I started writing,
Mm,
and I didn't take it serious. I was just like, oh, let me just write to write. I like this.
yeah.
But I say about a year and a half ago, maybe year and 9 months ago, I started taking it serious. Where I went to the studio with my boy.
Mhm.
I was like, yo, this is fun. Let me just do this for fun. Let me see where it goes. And I started doing shows and things and took it from there.
Okay. And what inspires you to write though? So I always ask guests though, because I always tell people, yeah, I did stand-up comedy. And what inspired me to write jokes is first the family jokes, the things that happen in West Indian households and the
Yeah.
experiences you have, right, with your friends and all this. And then when you get more advanced, you start trying to build a constructive joke where people will like it and take it in from all cultures, right? Because I used to do a lot of black jokes, right?
Yeah,
So when you talk about rap, though, when you write, a lot of people write from their experiences. Look at some of the greats, right? Write from their experiences in the streets and all that stuff and family. For you, what was it that motivated you to write first, and where are you now?
all right. So what really started me on that journey of like being serious about writing was um there's a lot of like my mom left, you know.
Mm,
So I'm a very, as I said, I'm an introverted person to a certain degree. So I hold a lot of that shit in.
yeah,
I feel like when that happened, I just need an outlet. So for me, it was like, yo, what can I do to let my emotions out without having to talk to people? Because I don't like talking to people about emotions or any
yeah,
of that. So I started putting pen to paper and just being like, yo, I'm actually I'm decent, I'm good, you know. And I started getting better from there. Um, Now at this point, I think I connect exactly with what you're saying because now that I'm a little bit more in the game, understanding my style, understanding my sound, that's literally what happens. Where I just made a track yesterday, and I
yeah.
was like, how can I make a track that it relates to my experiences, but also other people can relate to it as well. So um, that's where I'm at in my journey right now. Funny enough, you said that, where
Yeah.
I'm taking it from, you know, just the basic, you know, okay, let me put some pen to paper to let me connect with people, let me send a message, let me put a deeper value under the music. So yeah.
Yo, Dyer, well said, man. Well said. Um, and thanks for sharing that about your mom too. Did you have the support from the other family members? Because I know you didn't talk about it, but sometimes people feel what people are feeling too when you're around them. You know, you give off energy. So did you have the support from the family in a way where it helped you, and also your friend group too, to get you through this too?
Yeah, that's I would say no matter what support was there,
Mhm.
the biggest support was my father, you know, like him and I were going through it together. That's why I, I take family serious. Like on my dad's birthday tatted on me because he was the
Wow.
only person that's like we've gone through thick and thin together, you know. So
Mhm.
yeah, I always had his support. That's all that matters.
Wow. Thanks
Yeah.
for sharing that, man. Um, what was the first track that you accomplished? Like you wrote it, you went in the booth because you said you
Yeah.
liked it, right? So when you went in the booth for
Yeah.
first time, like, do you remember that first track you went in the booth with and you spit it? Because it's a different experience when you're in the booth on the mic in that it's a soundproof room, I think, right?
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
could hear the beat, I don't know, through your headphones. Tell me about that experience.
Yo, I felt like a fish out of water. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I got in there. I started hearing echoes in here while I'm trying to sing. I'm like, what's going on right now?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
honestly, it was crazy because the first track that I did, I made like 4 tracks the first day I went to the studio.
Oh,
The
wow.
first track I did out of all 4, the rest of them terrible. To this day, would never put them out. The
Yeah.
first one I still got out. It's called Winner.
Oh, okay.
It's called Winner. So if you go on Spotify, you see Winner on there.
Mhm.
Everybody said that's a hard one. I was like, all right, let me drop this. So yeah.
Yo, I gotta check that because you know what I did though. I followed you on YouTube. I found your page, and you were in the
Yes.
booth.
Okay.
You were in the booth and you spit for like 6 minutes, right? So you
Yeah.
have
Yeah. Yeah.
you have Go Stupid, right? And then Guap. It was
Mm-hmm.
in the same booth session, and I'm like, yo, this guy's fired, man. This is nice. This is nice.
Enough
But
love.
yeah, man. Um, so I think this is a good time though. Before we get into more of the music, anytime sometimes my guest says something where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna ask this question now because I want to be on the same wavelength we are, right? So when you talked about your mom, I want to see how you answer this question.
Okay.
It's a would you rather question.
All right.
So first, would you rather visit your younger self and give them advice for the future, or would you rather visit your older self and have them give you advice for what's going on right now?
I'd rather visit my older self.
Mm,
Honestly, I feel like every day the struggles I'm going through or the little tiffs that I go through, that's what's gonna make me, you know?
mm,
So I can't even if I were to go in the past and tell myself something, you know, hindsight is always gonna be clear. But if I go to the future and I was able to talk to my older self and he's like, yo, make these moves. I'd rather get that hindsight for where I'm at now because I'm already a different person than what I was back in the day. I wouldn't want to go back and change anything, you know?
Wow. Well said, man. When I started this question, I was like, I wonder what I'm going to hear. And I've been hearing some great things from people, whether they say they want to go back or forward, some great things. Now there's four separate questions. Whether my guest chose their younger self or older self, I asked
Okay.
the same question about your younger self now. What would
Mm,
you tell your younger self about money?
about money. I'll say it all starts in the mind, you know? It starts in the mind. You got to set a plan. You got to figure out what you're doing, and that's what I'm telling myself right now too. But
Yeah.
that's why I tell my younger self that too. You know, it starts in the mind. You got to believe first off that you're good enough to get these opportunities, and then you got to make a game plan of how to get them. You know,
Mhm.
nothing comes by accident, so you have to have a game plan. You have to set out what your next steps are, and you got to set out multiple ways of getting it.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm working on right now. How do I make those multiple funds? You know, okay, you got your music, you got your main 9 to 5, or nothing's wrong with a 9 to 5. You know, take
Mhm.
that, fund it, make your business. You have your music, all three. You know, don't be don't be in one lane. With money, you got to be spread out. You got to figure out multiple ways to get it. So that's what I'm figuring right now.
Nice. And I keep forgetting your age too. So yeah, that's you're figuring it out, man. I remember I didn't know about it back then. Before I ask the next three questions, I'm glad you said this. Um, so are you looking to diversify yourself in many different avenues to monetize whatever you're doing? So it's not only the rap, and you have a job too, I
Yeah,
think you're telling me, but are
yeah,
you doing other things too, that are probably tied into the hip hop game and the rap game?
yeah. So I was just talking to my boy about it also, like merch in general.
Mm.
You know, not necessarily like, oh, this is my song, and then here's like a shirt that says Dyer. You know,
Yeah.
like I want to make actual merch, clothes that like anybody could buy, and but that's affordable. But it's like, yo, I look drippy. You know, so that's a market I can tap into. So figuring out that market that you can tap into, real estate as well. That's a big thing that as soon as I'm ready, I'm taking that jump. Real estate's a big thing to get into. And I used to have a couple of Shopify stores too, you know, for jewelry and things like that. So just testing things along the way and seeing where I go.
So where did you get that mindset though? Because a lot of the times when I think back and I'm like, man, at this age, I'm like, I wish someone told me about like the whole real estate investing.
Yeah,
Bro, you don't even know how it's all relative with the pay back in the day, but still things were a lot cheaper, even relative to today.
yeah,
Things were a lot cheaper. You can get a house for 100,000 and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Close to 200,000. Now you're talking about 1 million in Toronto. But I wish someone told me about investing. I was talking to my last guest yesterday. I wish someone told me about saving so you can invest in yourself. That's one thing I didn't do. You know what I mean? Save money
yeah,
to invest. And I think you have to do that too with the hip hop game when you pay for studio time. Any artist,
yeah,
you pay for
yeah.
studio time and stuff. So I'm glad you brought that up, man. But did you have anyone to teach you this, or do you learn on your own? Because now you have access to the internet where you can just research things.
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep it 100. I'm not gonna take the credit for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take the credit for that. I could, but I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna cap. So my dad,
Mhm.
again, that's yo. He's in on my roots, music and financial. So he's tough on me in a good way, where
Mhm.
it's like, you know, if you're doing something good, if you have a good talent, you're good with work. Right now, I'm a sales manager for IT company.
Mhm.
So it's like, yo, you gotta reinvest that. So he teaches me these things, teaches me about good credit. He says the same thing. Yo, I wish I had learned it at your age, so I'd be where I am now. So he's
Mhm.
always trying to make me a better man. So yeah,
Yo, respect that, man. Thanks for sharing that. All
yeah.
right. The next one. What would you tell your younger self about family?
Mm. I'm gonna be honest. My younger self and the me I am today has always been family centered. Like I be, my family has always been family centric. You know, like anything I've done, they're always at the front of my mind. So I wouldn't tell myself anything different. Those are the guys that I always care about. Those are the people that I do all of this for. My brothers, my father, my sister. You know, it's always love for the family. So they're the most important thing to me. They're you getting your we had this saying, this Jamaican saying, cheer Ben, but it can't broke. So no matter what, those are people that are there for you. Those are people that always root for you. So yeah.
Respect. So true. So true. Next one. What would you tell your younger self about friends?
Interesting. Came with the heat today, Star. Came with the heat today. Yeah, it's going deep. Not everybody has to like you. That's what I'm learning now. Yo, you don't have to be a people pleaser. You don't have to have crazy amount of friends. Yo, be likable for who you are. If they like you, they like you. If not, that's their problem. But you're on your own journey. This is your movie. You gotta focus on yourself.
That was a good one. That was a good one. And lastly, let's see how you answer this, man. What would you tell your younger self about love?
Don't do it to me, man. Don't do it to me. Oh man. I'd say what I tell myself now about it.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a I say, yo, it's a can't get lost in it. And you gotta make sure it's real, you know? You can't use it to as a crutch to make yourself feel better or anything like that. You gotta stand on your own before you can move into a situation where you're trying to uplift somebody else or have them uplift you. Because if you're at a low vibration, everything's gonna always be on a trickle effect. But if you know you're up here, you know yourself, you know who you are, you're strong in yourself, and you'll be able to bring that energy to a loving relationship. So
yeah,
those are lessons my father always trying to teach me right now. Still knocking me over the head with it. But I'm gonna learn soon. I'm gonna learn soon.
Yo, your pops is inspirational, man. Oh man, that is good.
You would love to talk to him, man. Yeah, you would love to talk to him. I'll connect you.
We'll have to link that up, man. All right, back to the music now. Thanks for answering those questions, man. Yeah. This is nice. It's nice.
You went in on those ones though. I was shaking for a little bit.
All right. So back to the music. So performances now. Do you remember your first performance? Because nerves are good. Before you go on stage in anything you do, right? That nervous feeling. But a lot of people that I talk to, even myself, once you're on stage, you get into that zone. So do you remember your first performance and how you felt at the time?
My first performance, it's unforgettable for me because I set it up. Like I paid for the venue space, I everything on my own. I don't have a team right now, so I kind of set up the art. I had a boy who helped me find some artists. I knew a couple of artists that did some connections to the gym as well. Funny enough, but yeah, I was mad nervous because of that. I was extra nervous because I was like, not only do I have to perform, but I also have to make sure everyone's getting enough alcohol. They feel good. They're having a good time. It was crazy. I won't lie. There's a lot of hiccups through the night, but at the end of the day, once I finally performed, all that shit went away. I was this close to not performing because the venue space almost closed off. Things went past time. There was so many issues, But it's like it was kind of a sign to me because after I finally things pushed through, I pushed through that negative energy. I was like, all right, it's my time now. Let me go perform before this shit closes down. That's when everything came together. I was like, all right, that made my night. I was able to walk off triumphant. I was happy. I was like, all right, I'm in this. So it was a crazy night.
Yeah.
A lot of things went wrong, but a lot of things went right. So
yo, you gotta know too, and I'm sure your pops taught you this too, and you know this too. These are all learning experiences. This is your journey, man. So everything's not going to be perfect. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it builds your character and it builds that experience that you need for future things. So I give you props for doing this stuff so young, man, and paying for your own. Oh gosh, man.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Yeah. And what about now? What do you have going on performance wise? Because summer's winding down. What did you do this summer?
So summer was more focused on music. Right
Mm,
now, I took a little break from performing. As I said, let me work on my craft a little bit. So I'm building up the catalog and then making some music videos as well, doing a lot of the behind the scenes things. So that when I come back to perform, you know, I have a lot to show the family, you know, show everybody. Um, but yeah, this summer was calm. It was more creating. Next summer is when we're gonna turn back up.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it's all the planning. That's all the planning, man.
yeah,
This fall and winter time. Yeah,
yeah,
that's good. So now, you said winter was that one that you had out, that old one, right?
yeah,
Right. And then
yeah,
what do you have now that people can listen to? Because I found the one on YouTube, uh, go stupid, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So what do you have out now that people can listen to, and where can they find it?
yeah. So Go Stupid, that dropped what, maybe 2, 3 weeks ago. Guap Freestyle, which is also on that. I just dropped that as well. So
Mm.
go listen to that Spotify, Apple Music. You have it on TikTok sounds. You want to make a TikTok to it? Be my guest. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Tag the kid. But yeah, all of y'all can listen to all platforms, YouTube Music, also everywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Good. Thanks for promoting that. Um, and I know you don't want to, a lot of people don't want to talk about exactly what projects they're working on. I don't like to drop things. But lastly, what do you want to drop for people to know about besides what you're working on now and where they could find your current music? Anything else you want to tell the people out there?
yeah. I mean, I have a song that that's what I was saying. I recorded a couple songs. Last week I was in the studio. Yesterday I was in the studio as
Mhm.
well, working on an album. So 2024, mid 2024, if not early 2024, that's gonna be finished. So I'm just waiting for y'all to lock in, see the vision. That's when we're gonna drop it. So lock in with the album. Other than that, shows, wintertime, even though we're turning up for the summer, wintertime, I'm gonna have a couple shows. So I'll put those out, thinking during December time, January time, my birthday. So yeah, we got a couple plans on the way.
Yo, drop your birthday,
January
December.
18th.
Oh,
January 18th.
January
Yeah.
18th.
So
Okay.
both December and January, I'm gonna do some shows.
Sweet, man, sweet.
Yeah.
And do you like the lastly, I'm gonna ask you about the marketing aspect of it. Do you like the marketing where you, because you're saying you don't have a team right now, so you're doing a lot of things
Mhm.
on your own. Do you like the marketing aspect, like getting that stuff on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube if you're on YouTube? And not sorry, you're on YouTube. Facebook. I don't like Facebook that much, but getting
Yeah.
on Facebook and then Twitter. Do you like that aspect of it?
It's a love-hate relationship. I feel like it's anybody who says they fully love it, they're
Yeah.
lying. But when you play, you're lying. But when it works, you love it. When it
Mm,
works, you love it. So for me, it's about getting out of my comfort zone. You know, like stop caring about, oh, do I look stupid? Is my face looking stupid? Anything like that. Like that's the thing about artists that a lot of people don't realize, and I feel like it's not talked about enough. When you're getting into this, man, you walk down the street. I'm doing YouTube now, also actually.
mhm.
So I'm doing a lot of vlogs and things like that too. You walk down the street, you try and get content. You have a hundred people just giving you cut eye, saying no, da, da, da. What's this guy doing? You know, you got to
Yeah.
push through that. So same way on TikTok. This is not. You get those little comments here and there. You just gotta block it out. But when it works, you love it.
Yeah.
So that's my marketing experience right now. I'm doing a lot of TikTok. You know, a little bit of snippets here and there, and then just seeing how the community likes it.
Tell me something. I'm glad you shared that, man.
Yeah,
Because I'm gonna ask you to plug everything again at the end.
yeah,
Um, that's one thing that would bother me. Like if you get negative, not feedback, but like you're saying, when you're filming something, you're doing something, recording, and you get the negative, and then you got the people in the comment section and stuff. How do you mentally combat that and don't let that bother you?
so interesting. First off, you gotta have a good support group because no
Mm,
matter how you know we could act. Everybody my age, you can be oh we're gangster. We don't care about that, whatever.
yeah.
But no matter what, you know, the mind's the biggest weapon, but it could also be the biggest foe for you. So you gotta have a good support group that keeps you pushing.
Mhm.
But I always tell all my close ones too, you know, all my loved ones, I'm like, listen, I feed off of negative energy. So if someone's doubting you, it just makes it 10 times better when you actually get to that goal. So anytime somebody wants to say something about me, say something about my music, it's like, yo, but when I make it, that's when the tables turn. That's when everything flips around, you know?
Mhm.
And just remembering that, yo, people who are criticizing you, they're more than 9 out of 10 times doing less than you.
Yeah.
They wish they were pursuing their piano dream or their their art dream or ballet, something like that. But because they don't like that within themselves, they're like, yo, let me criticize this guy because like he looks like a fool. I could do that better, but you're
Yeah.
not.
So true. So true. Thanks for sharing that, man. Some people have to hear that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
How'd you get your name though?
it's family. Told you,
Mm,
it's all about family.
mm,
So I drop a lyric there in the other track too. It's this when I blow up
okay.
for the family. So I'm repping it like a sponsorship team, you
Right,
know?
right. And I worded it wrong. I should have said, why'd you use your name? You know what I mean? Like that's
Okay.
your, yeah, that's what I said. But yeah, you answered it anyway. So
Yeah.
some people like me, my name's Peter Lawrence, but I'm
Yeah.
using Star Scorpio. But your IG named out. So
Yeah.
Dyer 1 of 1. What made you
Okay.
use that though?
Okay. Okay. So I'm a little bit, you know, I'll say nerdy in a way. I have a nerdy side.
Mm,
So I like art, things like that. I remember there's one record that I was listening to or something like that. This I was watching this YouTube video. This guy drops records, and then he always started calling them one of ones. I was like, oh, what's a one of one? This is when I was younger. I was like, I don't know what a one of one is. And I
yeah.
started seeing that with cars. I started seeing it with all these things. I was like, yo, I'm a one of one, you know? Like I'm so it was just that thought process. It sounds stupid, it sounds funny, but it is what it is, you know. I was just like, yo, you gotta believe in yourself first. So I was like, yo, I'm a one of one. You can't
Yeah.
top this. You can't be the same as Michael Dyer. You're
Yeah.
never gonna find another Michael Dyer, you know? So
Yo, I like that, man. Respect for saying that too. I think I heard that 1 of 1 somewhere, but that's what actually drew me when we added each other to Instagram. I'm like,
yeah,
yo, this name is unique, man. Like it
I
says something
appreciate
to,
you.
yeah, man. Bless.
Yeah,
It says something to me, man. I'm like, wow, all 1 of 1,
yeah,
man. Um, I forgot to ask you before I do the real talk question.
yeah,
What were your musical influences though? Because again, going back to your dad being the influence, and he seems like he probably grew up in my area with the music too. So not only hip hop, everything, right?
yeah.
What were your influences? Because a lot of kids, like my daughter, I made she learned real hip. I shouldn't say that, man. Let me just take that. I'm talking like
Don't
an
worry,
old head.
yeah,
I'm talking
don't
like
worry.
an
I
old
get
head.
that every day. I get that every day. I know where you're coming from. He made sure
Okay,
me for me too. He
okay.
made sure.
Let me just drop it this way though. I made sure my daughter listened to music with the rhythm and the flow, the man's with the lyrical talent back in the day, you know what I mean? From
Yeah,
Kane to Big Daddy, from Kane to Biggie to Pac, both sides, West,
yeah,
East, not a lot of the South, but Busta Rhymes, you name it, man.
yeah,
Wu-Tang. And then she ended up acclimating and liking that.
yeah,
But again, it didn't stop her from liking new hip hop, right? Because there's a
yeah.
lot of beautiful new artists out too now. But to me, hip hop lost its way in the early 2000s after the 50 Cent. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I made sure my daughter heard like hip hop that I grew up with, my era,
Yeah.
that influenced her music and what she likes today. But now for you being an artist, what were your influences? Who were your influences?
Let me start off with this because I heard you mention it. Cash rules everything around me.
All
Creep.
right. Yeah,
Yeah, so
Wu-Tang.
yeah, Pops got me on Wu-Tang.
Mm,
50,
mm,
100%. Big influence. Hove, he loved Hove as well.
mm.
Um, And then after a while, I started listening to, so Drake was kind of the in between for me, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
But for me, it really shaped it, being black and Jewish as well.
Mm,
That was somebody that really spoke to me, and he connects back to a lot of old school music. So it's something that really touched, you know,
hmm.
my musical ideas. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
where I'm going with that, but yeah, like those are some of the big names. Of course, Biggie,
Mm,
that's another big name in it. But those are the main ones I heard in the car.
yeah, yeah.
My dad used to say I was bopping my head as a baby. He's like, I never seen that before. Not babies
Really?
don't have control to do that. He's like, I've never seen that. So uh,
Yo, you were born to do this, man. You were born to do this.
that's
For
what he
real,
said.
man.
That's what he said.
Damn. Yo, man, I had fun today. Now, before I do the donation, I have two questions here, and you're gonna choose one for me to read out. So, do you choose the Blue Jays or the Raptors?
Ooh, Raptors.
Mm. Here we go. What is one of the most memorable moments of your life?
Hmm. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. Damn, got me with this one, man. You got me with this one. Because I could say a lot of things, but it's just like, is that would I look back and would that be as important to me now? I mean, 5 years from now as it is now. So for me, I would have to say my most memorable moment was there's a lot of shit that happened a lot like 3 years ago. We touched on it, but when my family was able to come back together and just bond again. That's
Yeah.
always gonna be seeing my brothers. All of us just being able to be united again. That's always gonna be the most memorable moment for me. So
Mm,
yeah,
thanks for sharing. Yeah, this question that I created like seasons ago, some people have to think about it. I remember putting in what do you call it? A montage of the
yeah,
interviews when I
yeah,
asked the question, and then people were like, wow, so many people got hit like, damn, you know what I mean? And I
yeah.
just put back to back montages of people just doing that reaction to the question. But there's no wrong or right answer. But beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, before I do the balloons, let people know where they can find you on all the platforms, so they can search and see your music, hear you, see you, and all that.
All right, definitely. So TikTok, Instagram, Dyer, Dyer, one of one. Spotify, Apple Music, Dyer, all caps, Dyer. Check me out there. YouTube, same thing, Dyer, all caps.
Bam. While I'm getting this balloons together, when did you start working out, bro?
Oh, yeah, that was after high school. That was after high school. I was a baller back in the day.
Mm.
And then I said I gotta put on some size. I gotta put on some size too. Too much cardio right now. So I was really skinny. I was super skinny, maybe like at my height, like 150, 140.
Wait, we're around. Well, you're not around the same height. You're. I think you're a little bit taller than me. Do you know how tall you know how tall are you?
At 5'11".
Yeah. What am I saying? A little bit.
Uh, Actually, let me off that 6 foot, round it up, round it up.
Round it
Let's cut that.
up.
Cut that, cut that. I'm playing.
Yo, this is going in the
5'11".
teaser. No, this is going in the teaser, man. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, before I do the balloons, I want to just hit you again. So you were really skinny back in the days and you were because you're a beast now, man. When we're at the gym, I see you're a
uh,
beast, man.
it gassing me.
No, it's serious, man. I like your shape, how you look. But tell me, did you ever stop? Because high school was just a while ago for you. But throughout my years, even I worked at 18 to 49. I still go to the gym, as you know, but I
Yeah.
stopped, man. 2 years stop. And then you start going again. Then I stop. Have you had that period in that little period where you're working up from high school to now where you stopped and then you lost size or muscle mass?
Yeah, all the time, it's not all the time like that, but it's like also when you're bulking and cutting, you know, so it's a mental game, but it's a balance, you know, like you have to balance the music
Mm,
along with the work, along with working out. So sometimes you gotta take a sacrifice, like, okay, which one do I have to put more energy in right now?
mm.
So I'm very methodical with my training. I know, let me bulk up before the summer because that's when I gotta look good.
Yeah.
You gotta get your YouTube content, you
Yeah.
know, come on, little D's. So usually winter time is when I go real hard. So when I get to the summer, that's when
Mm.
I take a little. I know I'm gonna have to take breaks. I know I'm gonna be taking, you know, more trips, more shows, more entertainment. So that's usually when I see a little bit in decrease in size during summer. Too much alcohol, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Did you do the whole Caravana thing this year?
Carabano's movie. Carabano's movie this year. Yeah, it's fun.
True, true. Okay. Oh, this is a beautiful conversation. Now for the donation. Um, by the balloon you choose, I'll see who I'm donating to. And again, I like to say I'm donating to Claus, Kawartha Lakes Animal Wellness Society, the fundraiser warriors, little boys who don't raise money for a lot of charities, especially sick kids, and then Make-A-Wish Foundation. So do you want me to pop the left, the middle, or the right?
Let's do let's do the right balloon. Let's do the right
Finally,
balloon.
I'm getting the middle. My guest yesterday chose the left, and now let's do
Yeah.
the right, man. All right. Season 8. Let's see who Star Scorpio is donating to today. I think you're episode 6. Star Scorpio, we donating to. I don't know if you'll see it, but yeah, you can't see it. Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
They do beautiful things for kids. All right. Dyer, thanks for coming out today. It was a pleasure. And I'm gonna have you on again if I'm still doing this years from now. We're gonna see where you are, man. Any last
All right.
words?
Yo, y'all need to follow Star Scorpio. This guy's making a change. Give him go good energy for the city. That's what we need. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you. Real Talk with Star Scorpio season 8, and we out.